The room is quiet, and the soft rustle of paper breaks the silence. A pair of delicate fingers carefully opens a book, its pages slightly yellowed with age. There's a sense of anticipation in the air, as if something important is hidden within those blank lines. The word open lingers in the scene like a whisper, marking the beginning of something unexpected. A girl with long pink hair sits by the window, sunlight spilling across her face. She stares at the open book in her hands, her violet eyes reflecting a mix of surprise and unease. At that time, I also thought about it, but I was a bit shy. I didn't expect that he could find out this detail. The breeze outside gently brushes past the curtains, mirroring the uncertainty swirling in her heart. Her lips curl slightly into a determined smile. She tightens her hold on the book, the hesitation in her eyes slowly fading. "I will fix it tonight," she whispers softly. The sunlight warms her face, giving her courage, as if the decision she's made is one that will change something between them. But just as she is lost in thought, a hand suddenly grabs the book. The abrupt force pulls against her grip. "What I need is not like that," a man's deep voice demands. The sharp sound of the pages pulling apart cuts through the air like a blade. Her eyes widen, caught off guard. The shock makes her heart pound. Her violet eyes flash with panic as she looks up to meet the stern, dark gaze of the man in front of her. His expression is calm, yet unyielding, a silent storm brewing beneath the surface. She can feel the tension thickening between them like an invisible rope. Before she can react, her balance falters. The sudden tug sends her body leaning forward, and she stumbles right into him. Her hair swirls in the air, and their proximity tightens like a trap she didn't see coming. His hand instinctively reaches out, grabbing her waist to steady her. But to her, the touch feels suffocating. "Let me go!" she cries out, her voice trembling with a mix of fear and frustration. Her body stiffens against his grip. Their faces are close now, too close. She struggles, her breath quick and uneven, but he doesn't back down. His sharp eyes hold hers captive. The air between them grows heavy, filled with unspoken tension and the dangerous kind of familiarity. A low, controlled voice breaks the silence. "Say it quietly." He leans closer, his tone laced with a quiet threat. "Do you want them to come in here and see our current situation?" His smile isn't warm. It's a warning. Her heart races. Pressed against the wall, her voice comes out shaky and pleading. "Mr. Beaming, this is school. Please don't." Her eyes glisten with a mixture of fear, embarrassment, and helplessness. The world around them feels distant now. Just them two caught in a moment she can't quite control. A sly smile curls on his lips as he leans casually against the armrest, holding the open book in one hand. His sharp eyes glint with mischief as he lowers his gaze toward her. "You mean," he says slowly, his voice deliberately teasing, "if this isn't school, then we can do it, right?" His words hang in the air, both provocative and unsettling, making her heart skip a beat. She immediately stiffens, panic flashing across her face. Her voice wavers slightly as she tries to explain herself. "You don't need to misunderstand my meaning. What do you want, after all?" But before her words can settle, his reply comes smoothly, with a faint smirk. "Let's study the script together." The contrast between his playful tone and the tension in the room leaves her unsure whether to feel relieved or cornered. His expression hardens as he tilts his head slightly. "You came here yourself. What do you think I'll do?" His voice is calm, but there's an undeniable weight beneath it. He leans closer, his tone low and deliberate. "Moreover, don't you know, this is the school. The door is locked. How do you think this situation looks? A shiver runs down her spine. The realization of being alone with him in this locked room presses down on her like a heavy curtain. Pinned against him on the couch, she looks up, her wide violet eyes trembling. Their faces are close, too close, her hands instinctively pressing against his chest for space. She can feel the warmth radiating from his body, the slight rise and fall of his breath. The world outside seems distant. Only his intense gaze and the rapid beat of her heart fill the room. She forces a small, nervous smile, her voice light and shaky, as she tries to explain herself. Mr. Beiming, let me stand up first, okay? Lying like this, it's uncomfortable. I'll feel nauseated. Her words tumble out quickly, a mix of pleading and awkward humor. It's clear she's trying to ease the tension without directly challenging him. Her nervous laugh sounds brittle in the quiet room. Her eyes widen slightly in surprise as he replies simply, "Sure." The sudden agreement catches her off guard. For a brief second, the air between them shifts and hope flickers in her chest. Maybe he'll let her go after all. But his hand remains, firm and deliberate, holding her waist. His voice drops low, calm and smooth. "If you feel uncomfortable," he murmurs, leaning closer. His grip doesn't loosen. Instead, it becomes an unspoken trap. He straightens slightly, his gaze never leaving hers. "I will massage for you." The words land like a soft but heavy weight. Her body tenses at his offer, realizing he's not letting her walk away so easily. The playful undertone in his voice only adds to her unease. In an instant, he pulls her closer, one arm wrapped around her waist with practiced ease. She gasps, her hands pressing against his shoulders as the world tilts around her. "You," she blurts out, shock and frustration twisting her voice. Her cheeks flush a deep pink, the situation spinning far beyond her control. Their faces hover just inches apart now, locked in a tense, breathless silence. His smirk returns, but this time there's a darker edge to it. "Don't look at me like that," he whispers, his eyes narrowing slightly. "Don't tell me you actually want to know what happens next and face the consequences." Her heart hammers in her chest. She can't tell whether it's fear, anger, or something far more confusing that's making her tremble. With a confident glint in his eyes, he leans closer, his voice smooth and deliberate. "If I were you," he says, "I would definitely take advantage of this chance to entice investors, to fulfill the aspirations your team has longed for." The words are laced with strategy and temptation. But then his tone shifts, slower, heavier, almost personal. "Just, whether this contract is signed or not, I also just want to..." He leaves the sentence hanging, but the intensity in his gaze makes the meaning clear. A close-up of his face reveals the sly curve of his lips. His eyes glimmer with a dangerous mix of amusement and desire, as if he enjoys watching her squirm under the weight of his words. The slight upward lift at the corner of his mouth makes his intentions unmistakable. This isn't just business anymore. This is a game. Her patience snaps. Anger flares in her eyes as she shoves against him, yelling at the top of her lungs, "You let me go!" Her voice shakes, not from weakness, but from the fear and fury that have been building inside her. Her hair whips around as she struggles, desperate to break free. The cry echoes again, sharper this time. "Let go!" Her words pierce the tense silence like a blade, filling the air with raw, unfiltered desperation. Outside, in another part of the building, a woman in a sleek black dress turns sharply toward the sound. Her eyes widen with alarm. "Turn around," she whispers to herself, as she senses that something is wrong. Sunlight streams through the tall windows behind her, but the light does nothing to ease the heaviness settling in her chest. A mocking voice follows. "Ka ka, how it's going?" It's a familiar tone, one that makes her blood boil. Below, a man appears, and the sight of him twists her expression into one of disgust. This guy, why do you... She mutters through clenched teeth, already taking a defensive stance. Her heels click sharply on the floor as she steps forward. Her voice cuts through the air like a whip. "Stop," she commands, her entire body tense and ready to act. Her sharp blue eyes lock on the man before her, the situation escalating fast. But then a voice from within the room calls out, firm and calm. "Let them in." It's a command that makes everyone freeze for a second. The atmosphere shifts. Whatever's happening inside is about to draw more eyes. The door swings open. The woman in the black dress strides in first, her steps brisk and determined. Behind her, a blond man with glasses follows, his expression tight with concern. A suited man stands aside, letting them pass. The air feels thick, charged with unspoken tension. Inside, the room falls silent. The man sits on the couch, composed and unreadable, one hand resting against his chin. Across from him, she sits on the bench, shoulders slumped, her face pale and eyes cast downward. The woman who entered stands at the threshold, taking in the unsettling stillness. No one speaks, but the weight of everything that just happened hangs heavy in the air. Worried eyes meet tired ones. The girl with chestnut hair leans closer, whispering softly, "Kaka, are you okay?" Her voice trembles slightly, carrying genuine concern. Kaka forces a faint smile, her pink hair catching the sunlight from the window. Though pale and shaken, she nods gently, trying to reassure her friend without saying too much. The weight of what just happened lingers heavily in the air. "I am fine," Kaka insists, her voice steadier than she feels. The blond young man with glasses peers over curiously, his tone calm but attentive. "Kaka, have you discussed the script carefully with Mr. Beiming?" His question seems ordinary, yet it lands with the pressure of expectation. Even the bright morning sky outside can't ease the tension tightening around the group. Kaka straightens her posture, folding her hands nervously on her lap. She glances up at the young man standing beside her and forces a soft reply, "Yes." His hand gently rests on her shoulder in silent encouragement. The light breeze through the window brushes against them, as if trying to lift the heavy atmosphere that has settled in the room. Her mind drifts to earlier. She recalls how swiftly Mr. Beiming had gone through their entire script, just 30 minutes, and yet he gave insightful feedback as if he had known it for years. He finished the whole script in just half an hour, even gave the right opinion? She thinks to herself, amazement mixing with unease. This kind of ability, maybe only a few people in the world have it. The sound of a chair moving breaks her thoughts. Mr. Beiming rises slowly from the sofa, straightening his jacket with calm authority. His voice is measured and sharp. "I finished watching this script, but I still feel unsatisfied." His words slice through the silence, landing on each person like a verdict. The young man with glasses, startled, raises his hand instinctively. His eyes widen as he blurts out, "So Mr. Beiming means..." He doesn't finish the sentence, afraid to jump to conclusions. Everyone's gaze shifts toward the man in the suit, waiting for his next move. Standing together, Kaka and her friend exchange uneasy looks, their bodies tense, unsure of what will follow. Beiming's cool voice fills the room again. "My opinion, I told Kaka already. Wait for her to finish fixing the script, then we'll keep talking." It's not a rejection, but it's not approval either. Turning sharply, Beiming adjusts his cufflinks and strides toward the door. His confident steps echo on the floor, a reminder of the pressure he carries with him. A bodyguard standing waiting by the entrance, silent and imposing, as Beiming's figure slowly disappears down the hall. The blond man places his hands on Kaka's shoulders with a nervous but encouraging smile. "Please see him off," he says brightly, trying to keep the atmosphere light. But inside, Kaka's stomach twists. This isn't just a polite farewell. It feels like walking toward a storm she's not ready to face. Her lips part slightly. She whispers, unable to finish the sentence. Her heart races as she turns her gaze toward the bright blue sky outside. The wind rustles through the leaves, and for a brief moment, the world outside feels calm and peaceful, so different from the uneasiness weighing on her chest. The forest stretches overhead, sunlight filtering softly through the thick canopy. The sound of leaves rustling in the breeze creates a peaceful rhythm. But despite the serene atmosphere, her heart pounds nervously. She lifts her gaze toward the trees, a faint shiver of recognition passing through her. "This place," she whispers to herself, as if the scenery before her is a memory she had long tried to forget. They walk side by side along the narrow stone path. He, tall and composed in his immaculate black suit, radiates quiet authority. She, in her simple blouse and blue skirt, clasps her hands nervously in front of her. The forest feels vast, almost swallowing them whole. Her wide eyes betray her unease, while he moves forward calmly as though nothing about this moment could ever unsettle him. She forces herself to smile, glancing at him with careful politeness. "Mr. Bei Ming," she begins softly, "I still have a bit of work to do, so I can only see you off to here." Her voice is light, but her fingers tighten around her skirt. She hopes her words sound natural, though her chest feels tight. There's a strange weight between them, invisible, but undeniable. Suddenly, a startled cry slices through the quiet. "Ah!" Her long pink hair whips around as she loses her balance, the path beneath her feet seeming to vanish in an instant. For a heartbeat, all she sees is the blur of green trees and the sensation of falling. Before the panic can take hold, strong arms catch her. She gasps, blinking in surprise as she finds herself cradled against his chest. His face is close, too close, and the steady firmness of his grip makes her pulse quicken. "You don't." She tries to speak, but the words tangle in her throat. He only looks down at her, the corner of his mouth lifting faintly. She's gently lowered to her feet, his hand still steady against her shoulder. Her knees feel weak from the near fall, and she clutches her chest, breathing unevenly. Drop down, the sound effect in her mind mirrors her racing heartbeat. He doesn't say anything, but the faint concern in his eyes doesn't go unnoticed. Then, with the calm precision of someone who always knows what to do, he slips a hand into his pocket and pulls out an envelope. His eyes narrow slightly, as if weighing the next move carefully. The wind rustles through the trees, heightening the suspense. He unfolds the envelope slowly. She watches, her lips parting slightly in confusion. What could he possibly have brought out at a moment like this? Her brows knit as she leans closer, her unease growing with every second. Her eyes widen as she stares down at the contents. "How is it possible?" she whispers, her voice trembling. Shock floods her chest, draining the color from her face. Her heart pounds in her ears as if the forest has gone silent, leaving only this moment to echo endlessly. The photograph in her hands gleams faintly in the light. It's a damning image, unmistakable, impossible to ignore. Her fingers tremble around the edges of the glossy paper. Ming-san? How can she be with these two men? The thought slams into her like a cold wave. Whatever calmness lingered in the forest is gone now. In its place is a storm, quiet, heavy, and ready to break. The air trembles with the sound of her voice. Her eyes blaze with fury, cheeks flushed with emotion as she stares up at him. The photograph still trembles in her grasp, a silent reminder of the wound she has just uncovered. You harmed her!" she screams, her voice cracking with disbelief and pain. "How could you? How could you harm my sister?" The words tear out of her chest like a desperate cry for justice. Her pink hair sways as she steps forward, her body tense and trembling. The man stands before her, his tall frame casting a long shadow, his face unreadable, calm, controlled, and distant. The contrast between her burning anger and his cold silence is like fire meeting stone. Her voice grows louder, hoarse with rage and anguish. She clutches at his suit collar as if trying to shake the truth out of him, as if her grip alone could undo what has been done. The paper in her hand crumples slightly as she yells again, refusing to hold back the storm inside. He remains unmoving, his calmness like a wall she can't break through. But she doesn't care. Her heart pounds in her chest, and her words spill out with raw pain. The pain of betrayal, of someone who once trusted, now demanding answers. The distance between them has never felt wider.